Hello everyone. Today we're going to begin watercoloring our portraits. Supplies that you'll need are your water cup, a variety of brush sizes, your palette with the watercolors, and a palette for mixing will be good, as you're going to want to mix your own unique colors like your skin tone, your hair color, your eye color, and some paper towels for mistakes. To begin, let's start working on our skin tone. In your watercolor pack, if you happen to have some skin tones, you can start with those. If you don't, you can use yellow, orange, white, and brown to mix and make your own unique skin tone. I'm going to begin by adding some water to the center of my palette. I'll put that aside. And using the back of your hand as a guide, I'll start with the lightest skin tone color. And because we added a lot of water to begin with, you're going to need to get a lot of pigment. And if you want to try to add a couple other colors, just to see if you can match your shade a little bit better. When you think you've gotten it, you can try it out on a small piece of paper or dive in on a spot on your portrait. I'll start on my neck. With watercolor, it's better to work lightly and work in layers rather than going too dark too fast. Your neck, your ears, all of those things are going to be skin tone. Trying to work a little quickly here. I accidentally painted over my eyebrow. Because I have dark hair, that's not a problem, but if you have light hair, you can take a paper towel and use it to help suck up some color. This works while the paint is wet. If the paint's starting to dry, you can just add a little bit of water to it. You never want to rub hard on the watercolor paper, as it will start to break the fibers up and ruin the paper. Now I do want to add a little bit of pink in my cheeks, and so while my cheeks are still wet, give a little bit more water. I'm gonna grab a little pink. And then use water to help spread it. If it ends up being too much water, too fast, again, keep your paper towel by you. Put a little bit of this color on my nose, on my chin. And then taking some pink and adding pink to my skin tone, I can make a lip color. If you put two wet areas next to each other, the water's going to flow together, and it might mix colors you don't want mixed. I go back in and just add a little bit more darkness to my neck area. To make it look like a shadow. Okay. You can clean out your spot and then go on to mixing your next color. Try to mix to match your color. If you're blonde, think about a skin tone that's gonna work for you instead of using the sunshine yellow. Same as if you're a redhead, you don't wanna use like bright orange or bright red. Try to find a reddish brown that's gonna work for you. For eye color, just focus mainly on your iris. What color is your eyes? Mix and match to create an eye color. To add more details to your watercolor portrait, we're going to be using colored pencil to add some texture and just emphasize some of the details. If your paper is a little bit warped, you can just kind of gently bend it the other direction. I'm going to start by working on my eyes, just trying to redefine the shape, adding eyelashes, adding some color and texture into those irises. See the difference just by adding just a little bit? It really helps make it pop. You can add a little shading to the iris to bring out some colors you weren't able to get with the paint. Trace eyelids, eyelashes. Continue doing this on the other areas of your portrait. When doing your hair, make sure that the lines are moving in the direction that the hair falls on your face. If you're not sure about the direction, make sure you take a mirror and take a closer look. For the background, we were taking a look at the work of Kehinde Wiley. And his backgrounds were almost like wallpaper, where they were very patterned, very detailed. And we talked about how they tend to overlap the figure. And so if we take a look at this example, you can see how we have this like floral background, but notice that the pieces are like coming in over the front of the character, almost to hug the character. If flowers are not something you're interested in, you could do a geometric background. If you wanted to do something geometric with like lines and shapes, I would recommend making a very light grid in the background of your paper. And so you could just use like very light touch. When you get to any part of your portrait, you want to make sure you jump your line. So I'm just going to make like a very light grid. If you create a grid, then you can do a design in each box that's similar. Like I could do a triangle in one design or in one box and maybe just keep that really simple. And then maybe in the opposite one, I'm going to change the shape. So fill in the background with something that repeats, some repeating element, whether it's floral or organic, or if you're breaking it down and doing shapes. And then find a portion of your portrait where you can have that background hug your figure. Here's a completed example. This one's got a floral background. And so you can see I just left my background white because there is enough color on here. And then I do have a few pieces overlapping the figure. For the background, you can use any materials you want. So markers, crayons, colored pencils, keeping them nice and clean edges. Good luck, take your time, and make sure you draw lightly.